Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at this little fellow right here, the Island of Misfit Friends, put out by Twilight Creations. In this game, you are trying to escape off of this island that is ruled by a tyrannical king who simply, or rather seemingly, loves candy because candy is everywhere on this island. So what you're trying to do is steal some of this king's candy, give it to different tradesmen that are hawking their wares on the beaches, and you're trying to get those things in order to build your own boat so that you can get off the island. So you're bartering with these different merchants with the candy that you've stolen from the king so that you can build your boat and get off the island. The first person to successfully barter with each of the 4 merchants wins the game. So let's get down to the table. I'll show you how it works. Then we'll come back with some final thoughts in just a few moments. So here I have set up for you a 4-player game of the Island of Misfit Friends from Twilight Creations. Basically, each game is going to proceed in a number of rounds, and rounds are where players are going to be able to take turns based upon how the action deck is shuffled and pulled out. And when it is their turn, they can take a number of movement actions. Either they move one of their pieces around the board, or orthogonally, diagonally, whatever it might be, or they can shift either a row or a column only orthogonally of these little tokens that are out here, one way or another, depending upon how many movement actions they actually get. The whole point is you're wanting to try to bribe these different vendors out here to get them their wares, and to bribe them, you simply have to collect those kinds of candy pieces so that they will give you some tools in order to build your boat so that you can get off of this island that is ruled by a very tyrannical king. So at the first round, we're going to take, the Island Master is going to take this deck of cards that is comprised of 3 cards from each player in a 4-player game, that is, and shuffle it together. And these are going to determine what order the players are going to be able to take their actions in. So the Island Master will take and turn over the first card. Huggsy will be able to take 1 action, as denoted by the board there. And that simply means that Huggsy can either take one of their meeples here and move it 1 space, diagonally or orthogonally from the center spot right here. Or they can shift in a row or a column 1 candy token in whatever direction they would like to do. They just can't do it diagonally. So in this specific case, I think it'd probably be better that Huggsy moves one of her own meeples. So she's going to go ahead and move here. And whenever you land on a candy that is in a column or a row or a diagonal set of 3 or more candy pieces of the same type, you can take that candy piece and add it to your tableau. So they're going to go ahead and do that just like that, and that will be the end. Another thing that you can do if you are so destined to get a 1 action slot is you can take a token that you already have won and swap it with the one that you're currently standing on. That's just a way to kind of lessen the blow of only getting to do 1 thing on your turn. But now that Huggsy is done, the next person gets to go. Now Runny is going to be the person going, and they have 2 movement actions, which means that they can move 2 spots on the board, diagonally or orthogonally, or they can, in a row or column, shift a candy token up to 2 spaces. So what Runny is going to do here is she's going to take this candy corn, and move it 2 up. So we'll just go ahead and try to gingerly move this up here, which is kind of difficult. So we're going to go 1 and 2, which will slide everything around there in a really weird fashion. And then these 2 are going to come off and simply be pushed up right here like so. So these will come up. This one will come up here like this, and this one will come right here as well. All right, so that is done. That's Runny's turn. So now the next one comes over, and Cuddles gets to move 3. So, let's see here. Cuddles is going to go, let's see, we'll go 1, 2, 3 like that. And she's in a column of 3 or more, so she can go ahead and take that for herself. And now we come to a place where a king action takes place. So, the king action, we're going to roll the die, and it is an 8. So if we scoot in here, we can see that there is a grid of numbers on the center space here where the king is. And so we rolled an 8. So we look at the 8 direction. So that is this direction right here. And we go until we hit a candy piece and it is removed from the board. Because, hey, it's the king's candy. We're actually stealing the king's candy and he's not happy about that. So he's going to start knocking out some of those candy stashes with big old boulders. So now that the king's action is done, we can get back to the rest of the turn. So we go here to Huggsy. Huggsy is going to be moving 3. So we're going to move 1 here. This is 1 space, 2, and then 3. And he or she is in a diagonal set of 3 blue candies. And so that will go there. And then we have Runny gets to move 2. And we don't see any candies that are out there and readily available. So we're just going to move 1, 2 like this and try to go see what's over here, you know, in a future turn. But just to start moving that direction to see what kind of bribe those cloth merchants are wanting. And then Huggsy can move 1. Huggsy. Let's see here. Nothing really out there that can be very advantageous. So, let's go ahead and just move this like that over 1. Move that candy corn over 1. And then this one will come over here like so. Which means that this will come back over here like that. And whenever you're shifting candy like that, this is counted as not being there. So just keep that in mind. So that was that for Huggsy. And now we start back with the 1. And Cuddles gets to go again. So she just gets 1 movement. She'll just move 1 closer over here, trying to get that right there. You know what? No. Actually, I think we're going to go 1 this way and take some of that candy corn that's right there, because that seems like the good idea. All right, and now we go to the next player, and well, look at that, it's Cuddles again. So she's going to go 1, 2, and hopefully on the next round she'll be able to get over here and see what kind of wood bribes they're looking for. And we go to Hug. Let's see, the next person, Whoopsie. Whoopsie can go 3. All right, well, we'll just go 1, 2, 3 like that and take this corn. And that is the end of Whoopsie's turn. And now we have another king action, and it's an 11. So this direction is 11. So this blue is blown up right here. And we continue on with Runny. Runny can move 3. All right. Well, the only thing that Runny can really do is 1, 2 out here. And then we're going to take a look at this bribe and see what the cloth merchants are wanting to trade for. And unfortunately, Runny doesn't have anything, but this cloth bribe can be kept right here, and it's no problem. So that's that. And he has 1 movement left, so he'll come back out here like this. And then Whoopsie gets to move 2, which doesn't really look very advantageous, so we're just going to move 1, 2 out that direction. And the last turn is Whoopsie again, which is 1. She'll come out here and look at this card, and that rope merchant is looking for 2 candy corn. So that's pretty good because she's halfway there. All right, so that would be the end of round 1. All of these cards would be taken and shuffled back together in preparation for round 2. And then another thing that I haven't touched on yet, because I just didn't get around to it, is the event cards. Now, these event cards, each player starts with 3 of them. And these event cards say different things. For example, Burst with Excitement. All players move 2 of their pieces 1 square each. Go Nuts. Kings rolls again immediately. Or Dum Dum. Target player discards their hand of event cards. These guys can be played at any point throughout the course of the round, and at the end of the round, you're going to be able to draw back up to 3 for the next round. So basically, that's how the game is played, with the caveat being that the person who is able to bribe each of the 4 merchants first is the winner. And the way you bribe them is by turning in what they're looking for, and then you can flip this over, and this is, you have that commodity, whatever it is, that you need to help build your ship that's leaving the island. And the first person who bribes each of the 4 merchants first is the winner. So that's that for the Island of Misfit Friends. And if you look on the box here, it says, even among misfits, you're a misfit. And quite frankly, I have to say that this game is a misfit. And I don't want to be too harsh, because I know that there's probably a group of people out there that will absolutely love this game, and I'm not trying to speak ill of that group of people at all. However, I found very few redeeming qualities about this game. Now, one of the redeeming qualities that I did find were these little guys right here. These little Misfit Meeples, I guess you could call them, are pretty cool. You only get 2 of them per player, but they look pretty neat, and they're pretty sturdy as well. They're made from pretty good stock, I guess you could say it that way. But these were the one redeeming quality about the game. I thought these were pretty neat. If I were to not keep the game, I would probably want to keep these and use them in some other game. That's how good they are. I like that a lot. That's my one pro of the game. I liked these things, these little miniatures. I will also say that some of the other components were also good. The cards I thought were of a durable stock quality, but the candy tokens were too large, or the board was too small, whichever one you want to take there, because shifting those tokens, those candy tokens, you saw during the playthrough, it just becomes really problematic really quick, and you have to kind of space them out, and if you do, they don't really fit on the board right, so didn't really like that at all. But I mean, the cards and these little miniatures are neat, so that's good, but really that's the only positive thing that I'm coming away from this game with. So, with that having been said, let's go ahead and get to the cons, because that's where the bulk of my talking is going to come into effect. And the first con is that the event cards are just too take that in your face. Ha ha ha, you can't do what you needed to do or wanted to do. And oh, by the way, that was your last action, so you're not going to be able to do what you needed to do this round. You're going to have to wait until next round. Man. It's the event cards were, I know they were probably trying to go with very, cheeky, very funny, very ha ha ha, look what I did to you type stuff. But because of what you're trying to do in the game and that is set collect and all that kind of stuff, those event cards were really difficult to stomach. It's probably supposed to be very tongue-in-cheek, very funny, but it just wasn't. It just turned out to be a very huge annoyance throughout the course of the game. And you might think, why was it such an annoyance? Well, that kind of leads into my second con, and that is the movement system of basically just top-decking a card to go 1. See, here's the thing that I don't like about this. You could be top-decked to go 1, and then have to sit there and watch other people go 2, 3, 3, 2, and then your card gets turned over to be a 1 again. Ugh. And then if you're playing a 4-player game, your third card, I know this would be really bad luck, but it could happen. It's the last card, and you have to do 1 again. So all 3 of your cards were 1. Meanwhile, somebody else got a 2, and then another 2, and then a 3. So you got to move 3, and they got to move 7. Oh, that just doesn't, no. I don't like it when things do that. It's very similar to a roll and move mechanic, and I really don't like roll and move mechanics because they're so swingy. Another con of the game was one that I kind of mentioned at the tail end of my original pro talking about the components, and that was the tokens, the candy tokens just don't fit on the board. Either the board is too small or the candy tokens are too big. And that's just a big graphic design flaw in my opinion. And it just takes away even more from the game experience because it's so frustrating to have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles. And in order to move those tiles, you have to kind of separate the other two and then move them and then put everything back. It's too fiddly, way too fiddly. So, I wanted to like this game. I think it's supposed to be for kids, but I played it with my kids and they all hated it. I mean, they just did not like it at all. I played it with some of my kids' friends. They also disliked it very much. So with all that being said, I don't want to sound too negative because, there might be people out there that will absolutely love this game. And I certainly hope that there will be people out there that maybe you're even watching this and you're saying, it doesn't look that bad to me. Well, give it a try. Because I could be wrong according to what your group likes. But as far as our group, we did not like it at all. So we're going to give this one a 3 out of 10. And that's one of the lower rated ones that I've done here recently. I just do not like... usually I can find something that I can latch onto, that I can enjoy about a game, even though there's a lot that I don't, and there just wasn't anything like that in this one. So I really do apologize, but it's a 3 out of 10 for me for the Island of Misfit Friends. We'll see you guys on the flip side.